Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Telarus Tuesday call for October 8th, 2019. I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus. Want to give a shout out first off this morning to our friends at Mitel. Yesterday, Mitel CEO Rich McBee announced his departure for another executive level opportunity and introduced former Polycom CEO Mary T. McDowell as Mitel's new president and CEO. Rich McBee is a great friend of Telarus. He's spent many hours here in our offices with so many of our team members. He's a dynamic leader and has been instrumental in the Mitel impressive present and future success. We'll miss Rich, and we wish him well in his new opportunity, and we look forward to working with Mary McDowell and continuing to work with our friends John Lindsley, Rich Fry, and the entire Mitel team. We are now fully into the fourth quarter of 2019, leaving just about 3 months left to crush those annual goals and objectives. We're here today and nearly every Tuesday with the information and support you need to do just that. Thank you for being part of our weekly call. Last Tuesday, we introduced everyone to a brand new Telarus supplier. It's Data Valet, managed Wi-Fi solutions, including Wi-Fi access and infrastructure management, Wi-Fi analytics and engagement applications, and professional services, all leveraging Data Valet's Wi-Fi expertise for your clients' specific needs. Data Valet's official launch and training call from last Wednesday was recorded. It's available now for your review in the Telarus Partner Back Office. Also last week, we featured an exciting and thought-provoking discussion with BroadVoice, a compelling presentation on where BroadVoice fits in today's UCaaS space. We learned about the award-winning Beehive platform, which provides a consistent experience for all users at all locations on all devices. BroadVoice's suite of continuity and disaster recovery products keeps your clients up and running in any circumstance, and BroadVoice is especially powerful when serving multi-site customers. In fact, we heard an impressive case study highlighting a 700-site retail opportunity, which was provisioned in just about 45 days. It's BroadVoice and UCaaS. That was a special discussion with our friend Eric Brooker. That recording of last week's Tuesday call is available now in your reimagined Telarus Partner Back Office. On today's call, we're happy to welcome RSI, Renaissance Systems Incorporated, offering CyberCompass, automated compliance and cyber risk management. Today, we'll learn how CyberCompass helps channel partners maintain control of any organization's compliance and cyber risk strategies. We'll see a new approach to beginning that cyber security discussion with clients through the CyberCompass automated assessment and remediation processes. It's RSI and CyberCompass. That discussion is coming up here in just moments on today's Telarus Tuesday call. As always, we invite you to log in to the video link in our live chat platform. That way you'll see all of today's valuable information. You'll be able to submit questions and comments for today's presenters. Well, it seems that each week our list of Telarus President's Club qualifying opportunities fills out even more. And this is perhaps the most impressive array of offers we've ever seen. Our suppliers continue to help make it easy for you to qualify for this year's President's Club Award. We'll be taking qualifying partners next March to an amazing getaway at the all-inclusive Secrets Vallarta Bay Resort in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So many ways to qualify. You can either sell a combined 100K in Telarus MRR, or by selling a specified amount with one of the individual sponsoring suppliers shown here on your screen. This week, we're excited to announce that Fuse has been added to the list. You can qualify by selling just $25,000 in new MRC with Fuse. As you can see from the list, there are many terrific and easy ways to qualify. Don't miss this opportunity to join Telarus next year in Puerto Vallarta for the 2019 President's Club. Well, Telarus is back on the road this week with events planned all over the country to help our partners build their businesses. Check out these tremendous opportunities and plan to join us at an event near you. Here's what's happening. First up, today, Tuesday, our Telarus Cloud Boot Camp takes place in Los Angeles at Fleming's Prime Steakhouse on Olympic Boulevard, running from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. today with in-depth presentations from the experts on identifying and closing opportunities among your clients, facilitating their migration to the cloud for voice, data, storage, and security. Cloud is revolutionizing the way Telarus partners make money. Find out how at today's Cloud Boot Camp, 10 a.m., live in Los Angeles. And the Telarus Contact Center boot camps begin again this week as well for our Texas partners. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're in San Antonio from noon until 4 p.m. at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, featuring expert instructions from Epic Connections, Genesis, Sharpen, and TalkDesk. On Thursday, the Contact Center Boot Camp takes place in Dallas from noon until 4 p.m. at Seasons 52 Fresh Grill and Wine Bar. This event features powerful information from TalkDesk, Serenova, Echo, and Nice in Contact. Phenomenal opportunity in the contact center and customer experience arenas right now, as businesses of all types are seeking to create, modify, and enhance the ways in which they communicate with customers. It's your chance to claim your share of this tremendous business and sales opportunity. Also in Dallas, next Monday, October 14th, you can join us for the Telarus Golf Championship at the beautiful Brookhaven Country Club in Farmers Branch. This amazing tournament will feature sponsored and contest holes, high-end prizes, incredible swag, and much more. Our Telarus golf events are some of the biggest and best events of the year. We hope you'll join us in Dallas next Monday. And our Telarus Innovation Conferences are moving full speed ahead as well. These events are immersive technology training experiences which explore IoT, contact center, security, and more. You'll take your business to the next level with this all-new, outstanding set of trainings and content from the Telarus team and from many industry experts. Huge prize giveaways going on as well at each event, but the big prize, of course, is the knowledge and training that you'll receive as you help grow your business. We have scheduled, and this is just crazy, count them, 7 Telarus Innovation Conferences during October. You can join us today, October 8th, for a TIC, as we call it, kicking off in Westport, Connecticut, just a couple of hours ago. It's already in process. This Thursday, October 10th, the Telarus Innovation Conference takes over the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, home of the longest running radio broadcast in U.S. history. On Thursday, the 17th, you'll find us in Chicago at Soldier Field, home of the Bears. And Tuesday, October 22nd, it's a 2-TIC Tuesday with conferences in both Los Angeles and here in Salt Lake City. We're in Austin, Texas on the 24th, Phoenix, Arizona on the 29th. Take your pick, but join us and take advantage of these tremendous opportunities to enhance your expertise, build your business. It's all at the Telarus Innovation Conference. You can see our full schedule of events with all of the upcoming opportunities. Register and RSVP at Telarus.com/events. Well, it's time for our weekly partner sales recognition. Big shout outs this week to our highest performing Telarus partners. We've had some incredible wins coming in during the past weeks. In this week's third position, Telarus congratulates founder and president Jim McNeese and all of the team at C2XL from Allen, Texas, just north of Dallas. Jim and the C2XL team closed a series of fiber Ethernet sales from Call One to a large engineering client. Call One's provided communication solutions for 26 years, and they can combine any connection types across multiple carriers and bandwidths based on the needs of each client business location. C2XL is an advocate for their clients. The C2XL's team goal is to eliminate the obstacles and the frustrations associated with the creation and implementation of telecom infrastructures. They bring years of diverse experience to their cutting-edge client recommendations. Terrific sale. Congratulations, Jim McNeese and all of the C2XL team. It's an outstanding Call One win. Taking second place honors this week and making the first appearance in the Telarus Top Wins, we congratulate Keith Strong. He's the president and co-founder of Network Insiders out of Houston, Texas. Keith and the Network Insiders team closed a tremendous sale of analog voice services from Fusion to a client in the energy sector. Doesn't matter if it's cloud or analog based, Fusion delivers voice solutions that support the way clients need and prefer to connect with their customers and partners. Network Insiders provides their clients with research and sourcing support, ensuring they receive the right solution and best value in this very competitive and sometimes highly biased telecom environment. More support, greater resources, and less hassle. That's Network Insiders. Congratulations, Keith Strong, on this fantastic Fusion sale. And taking our top honors this week, Telarus recognizes and congratulates Teresa Hefner and her team at CBSS LLC near Albany, New York. The CBSS team closed a phenomenal multi-product sale of, get this, voice, LD, fiber Ethernet, cable, and UCaaS services, all from Granite, to a client in the financial industry. Granite, as demonstrated here, provides one-stop solutions throughout the United States and Canada. They create flexible solutions with scalability that allows businesses to grow. This is also the first appearance of CBSS on the Telarus Tuesday call. And man, they are doing it in a big way with this impressive sale. They've demonstrated that client needs are often multifaceted and shown how to leverage our suppliers' resources to meet those client needs. Congratulations, Teresa Hefner and CBSS, on this tremendous Granite win. What a fantastic week of sales. As we noted earlier, we are now officially in the fourth quarter of 2019. The race is on for top partner honors. We thank all of our partners for continuing to trust Telarus with your business. Here's a rundown of this week's training calendar. We have 3 excellent opportunities being featured on the call today. First up, tomorrow, Wednesday, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, Windstream presents another of its Wednesdays with Windstream webinars. That is a lot of alliteration. This week's Wednesday with Windstream shows how partners are expanding their win potential by leveraging Windstream Enterprise's over-the-top UCaaS solutions. Today we'll examine a recent partner win, a Windstream UCaaS powered by a Avaya solution with an up-and-coming BPO. You'll learn the business challenge, the competitive landscape, the winning solution, and the benefit to all involved. It's Wednesday with Windstream that comes up tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then later Wednesday, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, Net2Phone is offering practical training on N2P 1.0 admin and user training and Polycom training. It's the easy way to learn to use the Polycom phones and the Net2Phone dashboard. It's a 2-hour workshop, but with a big payoff, making you an expert in helping your clients realize the full potential of their Net2Phone equipment and services. That training happens tomorrow, Wednesday, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then this Thursday, October 10th, plan to get up early and join Cato Networks for SD-WAN Confessions, an amazing tale of one customer's successful migration of 24 global sites from MPLS to SD-WAN. The webinar reveals the challenges and offers a walkthrough for successful global SD-WAN projects. You'll hear insights and tips on avoiding the common pitfalls, and Cato Networks, of course, makes buying SD-WAN simple. You'll find out how by registering now, and then you can either join the special Thursday training live at its 8 a.m. Eastern start, or by registering now, you can catch the recording later on demand. SD-WAN and Cato Networks happens this Thursday morning. The details and registration links for these and for many other live and recorded learning opportunities, you got it. They're all in your new, redesigned Telarus Partner Back Office at agent.telarus.com. Well, each week we pass along some of the newest and best spiffs and promotions being offered by our suppliers. Here are 3 such incentives to consider as you evaluate your clients' needs and opportunities. First up, a terrific opportunity from Jive by LogMeIn. I'm going to take these out of order. Audible, Omaha. This fall, let Jive do the work, and you can enjoy 5X. Just register and close a new 36-month agreement for Jive Go to Connect, Connect Bundle, or Jive Voice. Your Jive AE will help work the deal from demo to close, and then while you sit back and enjoy pumpkin spice season, you'll also claim your 5X spiff. The offer is valid through December 31st. It's a 5X spiff from Jive. Going to the middle of our slide, next from Fuse, it's a sumo size promotion offering up to 8X MRR. That ain't the Thanksgiving turkey talking here, that's 8X MRR. Heavier than ever, 36-month term required, new customers only, and deal registration must be submitted before December 31st. But you get 3X on the amount of the closed deal, plus another 1X on deals involving 500 plus users, or 2X if it's 1,000 plus users. Then just tack on another 1X on the committed 12-month activation amount, plus another 1X for 6-month prepayments, or 2X for 12-month prepayments. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8X MRC potential. It is, in fact, a sumo-sized spiff from Fuse. And finally, Windstream Enterprise is offering spiffs of up to 4X during the month of October on 36-month sales of their eligible strategic solutions: UCAS, CCAS, SD-WAN, DDoS mitigation, and fixed wireless. Here's the deal. You sell one strategic solution, you get a 3X spiff. But you sell 2 or more strategic solutions, it becomes a 4X spiff. Plus, you can earn an additional 5% residual on sales of UCAS, SD-WAN, and DDoS just 24 months or longer. So 24 months on the 5% residual. The extra 5% is valid through March 2020, but that 4X spiff from a moment ago, that's only valid through this month of October. Cash in now with these tremendous offers from Windstream Enterprise. We've got these, we've got many more fantastic deals from our suppliers. You can see them all at promo.telarus.com. Well, as mentioned earlier, our featured presentation on today's call is from our friends at Renaissance Systems Incorporated, offering CyberCompass, automated compliance and cyber risk management. CyberCompass helps channel partners maintain control of any organization's compliance and cyber risk strategies. It offers Telarus partners a new approach to beginning that cybersecurity discussion with their clients through the CyberCompass automated assessment and remediation processes. Taylor Hersom is one of the most brilliant people I have met in this business. He's the Chief Security Officer at RSI. Love listening to this guy talk about his product and about our industry in general. He joins our call today to discuss the CyberCompass opportunities. Taylor, welcome back to the Tuesday call. Always great to have you here, my friend.
Doug, thank you so much for the kind words. Appreciate you all having me, and looking forward to today's presentation.
It's great to have you here, Taylor. Always a pleasure. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We've got what we call a Cyber Odyssey to begin today.
All right. Thank you, sir. Hey, everybody. As Doug said, my name is Taylor Hersom. I'm the Chief Security Officer at RSI. And today I'm here to talk to you about the solution that we've brought to Telarus exclusively, which is CyberCompass. And so thank you all very much for taking the time out of your day just to be on this call. It means a lot to us. I wanted to give a quick background on RSI as a firm. So RSI is a cybersecurity and software development firm based in Austin, Texas. It's led by David Bergeson, who many people in the Telarus channel know. He's a channel veteran, has been in the channel for about 25 years. And when he brought me on board, we put our heads together on how we could differentiate ourselves in the channel and the solution that we bring to the channel in order to bring as much benefit as possible to partners. And so the first thing that we wanted to do was figure out which partner to partner with, and what better partner than Telarus. So RSI is exclusive to Telarus. We do not have a direct sales team, and we were very strategic from our inception in how we presented ourselves exclusively to Telarus and the Telarus partners. So what we did is we set out to develop a service that essentially created a tremendous amount of opportunity for partners to get their foot in the door with prospects and existing clients, to offer them tremendous value and to be able to make a multitude of sales on top of the traditional service that they're going to be selling. And we're very confident in what we've accomplished and the value that we're bringing to the Telarus space. Next slide. So first, I'm going to break it down to you on what we do and what CyberCompass even is. So every business that you, as a from a personal standpoint and from an organizational standpoint, every business that you interact with deals with what we call risk. But thanks to those evil hackers and hoodies, they deal more specifically with security and compliance risk. So whether it's the grocery store that you shop at that takes your credit card information and therefore falls under PCI compliance, or the healthcare provider that you visit on a periodic basis that's absorbing your patient health information and has to protect that based on HIPAA regulation, or even the energy company that you do business with that doesn't necessarily fall under any specific regulation, but they are incentivized to protect their power grid from malicious intent in order to ensure that you never have to stop your binge watching of Stranger Things. And so every company deals with security and compliance risk in some manner, and it all falls into these 5 buckets at what you see. So the first thing that you have to do from an organizational standpoint is identify what your critical assets are, identify where your critical data is, where you're residing, client information, patient information, customer information, depending on your organization. The next thing you have to do is you have to assess yourself on where your current risks are around that IT environment that you've just identified. And so when you assess yourself, you're either assessing yourself based on a regulation, like I mentioned earlier, HIPAA, PCI, GDPR, you hear all these darn acronyms being thrown around. You either need to assess yourself on those to see where you stand based on those regulations, or you need to assess yourself from a security standpoint and determine how secure your IT environment is in order to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of all of those systems. And then once you identify those risks, then the next step in that process is you have to remediate the risks. You have to address the risks that are impacting your organization so that you can continue to achieve your business objectives. And then once you remediate those risks, you have to implement what we call IT controls in order to ensure that you continue to monitor those risks and ensure that they are remediated into the future and not just a point in time, one and done approach. And then finally, as you mature as an organization, you need to be able to kind of see where you're at any given time. You need to be able to report to your stakeholders, report to your board of directors, report to the vendors you do business with, and you have to have metrics around that whole process so that everyone can understand where your security posture is, where your compliance posture is at any given time. Next slide. So the problem with this approach, though, is that traditionally, in order to do the first 2 steps, the identify and assess, it's actually a very convoluted process traditionally. So any of your clients that need to go through a risk assessment, the way that it's traditionally been done is that they contact a professional service firm that sends in a bunch of consultants and they ask a billion questions, and it's a lot of documentation and a lot of time wrapped up on both sides in order to essentially get a piece of paper at the end of the risk assessment that tells you everything you're doing wrong as an organization. It identifies all these risks. It doesn't even tell you what to do in order to make those right. And the problem is with that approach is, 1, it's very much point in time, and 2, it's very expensive. It's a long, painful process to go through. And it doesn't matter if you hire a mom and pop shop or a huge conglomerate to conduct your risk assessments. It's usually very strenuous. So what we did, what we seek to accomplish at RSI is to offer customers a better way to identify and remediate their risks impacting their organization, which is why we're so proud to announce CyberCompass. What CyberCompass has done is essentially taken a lot of the painful processes of going through a risk assessment for both parties, both the consultants and for the customers themselves, and it has either automated or streamlined the approach. And so we've created this platform that really streamlines how you go through an interview, how we as consultants gather information and gather audit evidence and gather notes. And then it does all of these things on the back end to be able to build a very robust risk register for your organization in order to collaborate all of the information that we've gathered in a risk assessment and compile it into a very easy to use, easy to understand risk report that not only provides you all of the issues that are affecting your organization at that point in time, but it ranks them by criticality and provides you with threat responses so that you have the information at your fingertips immediately to be able to tackle those risks without having to pay a consultant gobs of money. And so the biggest thing that we've accomplished with our tool is that we have imported every major regulation and framework out there so that we can cater it specifically to your customers. So whether they're a hospital that falls under HIPAA or they're a technology firm that doesn't fall under a regulation, but they want to enhance their cybersecurity by adopting something like the NIST cybersecurity framework, we have the ability to assess their current environment and help them identify what they need to do in order to get to their target, to get to where they want to be. And so, next slide. Sorry. Oh, next slide. Thank you. So what this all does, what we are able to accomplish with our professional services and with our CyberCompass tool is we can firstly very much dramatically reduce the amount of time it takes to go through a risk assessment and the cost that is passed along to your client. So we come in a lot, we're able to rapidly identify and remediate risks for our customers simply because we have streamlined the approach. Rather than the consultant spending weeks documenting and compiling their notes and their screenshots and whatnot, our tool does it for us. What we're able to do is we're able to sit with your customers, or they can actually do it themselves. They can go through any of the risk assessments that we have in our tool and answer simple yes/no questions. So we've taken every major regulation and major framework, and we've rewritten the questions to be geared towards the business user, which makes it a lot more easy for them to interpret and for them to answer accurately. We have the ability to assign interviews to people throughout the organization. We're able to sit with people in person. We can sit with them via webinar, or we don't have to sit with them at all. And our tool takes all of the information that we're gathering and compiles it into a very powerful risk register. So we don't lose track of anything, and we provide a better, more comprehensive risk assessment to your customers. Now, the end result is getting that report that tells you kind of where you're at and where you need to be. And our tool does that automatically for us. So that's all generated automatically. It takes all of those data points and compiles it into an easy to understand manner. But the coolest part is that every risk assessment actually comes with a year subscription for your customer to our CyberCompass tool. So our end goal is not to provide that piece of paper and say good luck. We want to be that virtual CISO in your pocket. We want to be able to provide your customers the resources they need to actually remediate those risks. So we provide a very powerful dashboard that populates all of the findings from a risk assessment, provides your customers with a variety of benefits and how they can remediate those risks, and provides them continuous value throughout the year. The other differentiator that we do is that we spread our costs over the course of a year. So no longer are we coming in and charging your customers a big upfront cost for professional services. It's all spread out and very easily affordable. Next slide, please. So what we talked about was the time and cost savings. So as I had talked about before, one of the biggest things that we do is we save a ton of time. We can knock out risk assessments in as little as a week. We actually, as a firm, set a new record last week and knocked out an entire NYDFS cybersecurity risk assessment coupled with a CIS 20 risk assessment. For one of our clients, we knocked it out in 72 hours. And so this tool really is extremely powerful, and it helps us really add a tremendous value to your customers. But the coolest thing that I want to point out is that we talk about that risk report and we talk about all these findings, but for the partner, this is a game changer. So for you now, you have suddenly put yourself in the driver's seat as being the strategic security advisor for your customers, and you have access to be able to see that report just like them. And everything that is identified in that report is actually a sales opportunity for you. These are strategic risks that are impacting an organization across the company. And so everything from not having password policies in place to not having a cybersecurity professional monitoring for vulnerabilities, not doing cyber awareness training. These are all very strategic risks that end up affecting your customer's bottom line, and it's something that they care about tremendously. And so now you as the partner get to be there, and you get to advise them on what to do. Coupled with our services, you are able to be that strategic advisor. As I had mentioned before, us being exclusive to Telarus and not having a direct sales team, we're not incentivized to recommend a new vulnerability scanning software or to bring in some random professional services firm to do pen testing. We leave that to you. We work with the partner, and you are our strategic advisor as well in what technologies we need to bring in order to appropriately address the risk for your customer. Next slide. So one of the things I did not mention is that RSI is very much a cybersecurity firm, and because we've built this tool, it's a great foot in the door to offering a variety of services and really extending the life cycle of that contract with your customer. What we do as a professional services firm is we have virtual CISOs that can actually offer consulting services throughout the entire cybersecurity and compliance journey. So a risk assessment is step one in the process. But after that, like we talked about before, you have to remediate, you have to monitor, you have to report. And oftentimes your customers are not going to have these things built out. And that's where our professional services come into play. We help the customers do these things. We help them build the people, processes, and technology around all of the risks impacting their organization. And the best part is any service that we provide, whether it's CyberCompass or it's building a disaster recovery plan or whatever the case may be, you get commissions on that across the board. And so I encourage you all to reach out to me and talk to me more about the variety of services that we offer outside of CyberCompass. But this right here is an incredible opportunity for partners to be able to get a long-term contract in professional services when customers greatly need it more than ever. Next slide, please. So the last thing that I want to talk about is that we are here for y'all. We have built our firm completely around Telarus partners, and that is what we are extremely passionate about. We have been working in the background to continue to create things that bring value to the partners. So one of the biggest things that we're proud to announce this week, and we'll be showcasing at the upcoming Telarus Security Advisory Council, is our Cyber Quick Check tool. What it is it's an online, easy to use 12-question assessment that you can walk your customers through, and it not only gives you a foot in the door to identify these big vulnerabilities impacting your customer, but it also gives you a ton of talking points because you're sitting there with them. You have the ability to send them a link if you so choose, and the cool part is we've built this tool with Telarus's partners in mind, so we can white label the tool for you. All of the results from your customers taking an assessment go to your inbox. All the contact information goes to you directly, and it's a very powerful sales generator. Some of the other things that we are passionate about and that we do is that we create a lot of marketing materials all the time that we white label for our partners and have the ability to help you develop websites and help you flesh out your security offerings on your marketing deliverables. And again, it comes back down to we are just as passionate about you being successful as we are about ourselves, because at the end of the day, in order for us to be successful, the Telarus partners need to be successful. Next slide, please. The last thing I wanted to announce to y'all is that we are hosting a webinar on October 15th. I know that this was such a high-level overview of what we do and what we can accomplish. I would love to see y'all on there. I would love to answer questions about the process, and I'll be providing my contact information, of course, but this is going to give you a good idea of what RSI as a whole does, how CyberCompass truly is such a differentiator, how you can leverage certain opportunities that you may already have, and how you can speak to them about security. So please join us at 1 p.m. Eastern on October 15th. Next slide. And finally, I wanted to provide you the contact information. David Bergeson is our COO. Again, myself, I am the Chief Security Officer. This is our information. Please reach out if you have any questions. We take phone calls 24/7 to talk about security. I'm weirdly obsessed about security, and I'm always happy to talk about it further with you. I thank you all again for taking the time on this. I know this was a 20,000-foot view, but please reach out to us anytime, and we're happy to talk about how we can make you more successful and help you generate more sales.
Thanks so much, Taylor. We are speaking today with Taylor Hersom. He's the Chief Security Officer at RSI about their CyberCompass automated compliance and cyber risk management product, which you can offer to your clients. Again, this is a Telarus exclusive, and it's time now for our weekly Q&A session where we bring that 20,000-foot view back down to about 5,000 or 6,000 feet. We're going to feature your questions and comments from our chat window. Taylor, as always, phenomenal presentation. Seriously, I could listen to you talk about this all afternoon. It is a fascinating subject, and quite frankly, we talk about compliance, and it's one of those words that really sends shivers up and down the spine of most businesses because it's one of those aspects that is absolutely required, so critically important, and yet most people don't really want to have to go near it with a 10-foot pole. Talk for just a minute, if you would, about the virtual CISO. I mean, this is a term that's becoming more and more common. A vCISO is, of course, compliance Chief Information Security Officer. But what does that mean for businesses that are now able to streamline, automate, and handle these types of matters in a much more efficient and cost-effective fashion?
Yes. So the Chief Security Officer role is relatively new to the executive team in the grand scheme of things. So it's a position that's suddenly been created due to these increasing cybersecurity concerns that are affecting organizations worldwide. And so a Chief Security Officer is essentially your captain of the ship that ensures that you are staying on top of your cybersecurity, your compliance, and your overall risk management posture. And so the problem with that is that we're approaching a 3 million global shortage of cybersecurity professionals. It's extremely hard to find a cybersecurity professional, and when you do find one, they're extremely expensive. The average salary for a CISO is approaching $200K. And so these organizations that have never had to worry about cybersecurity and all of a sudden have all of these compliance regulations they fall under, or all of these risks affecting their organization, they need to be able to have a resource that they can leverage, and it's very hard to find. And so what we have created is a team of virtual CISOs, and so we can offer basically an outsourced CISO no matter what your needs are. So we can cater it down to a granular need, or we can have it be your complete outsourced Chief Security Officer. I mean, we even have clients that we sit on their board and advise them across the organization. And so the coolest thing about this is now you're not having to have someone on your payroll, and you're actually paying a fraction of the price. Typically, it comes in about 25 to 40% less than the salary of a CISO, and you are getting a team of people versus one person.
So we're getting some great comments and questions in from our partners. Let's talk just a little bit about the surveys themselves. Marco asks a great question. Do you consider the surveys to be a sales tool as part of the process, or are they themselves a paid service that partners can leverage and earn commissions on?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. So just so I believe that what you're talking about is the surveys, the assigned surveys that we were talking about earlier.
Correct.
Surveys is another way of us saying interviews. And so in a risk assessment, when we conduct a survey, we are interviewing a different person, whether it be someone in a different department or a completely different location. They could be in Europe, or they could be in California. We have the ability to create a survey specific to the person we're interviewing. And so what that does is it allows us to interview far more people in a rapid manner. And then we can identify risks that are more granular to the organization. So if you're suddenly able to ask 6 different people at 6 different locations the same exact question, well, now you've been able to identify a potential risk at one of those locations versus just asking one person that question and hoping that they're answering for the entire organization. And so that was a long-winded way of saying, yes, that creates more sales opportunities because you're identifying more risk across the organization, which all tie back to the types of services that partners sell.
Related question also from Marco. What is the extent of RSI's ability to do this in languages other than English, especially given the fact that GDPR, for example, is a European set of regulations?
That is such a great question. So that's something that we've been expanding into. We are hoping to be able to branch into the Spanish-speaking market. We've had a few opportunities come up in Mexico, and it's something that we want to go more international with because these regulations are popping up left and right. And you make a great point. We've had a lot of success with GDPR. We've been working with companies that are based in both the U.S., we've had India, we've had Europe, various parts of Europe. So we are able to already service those in terms of speaking or being able to interact in other languages. That's something that we're pursuing right now, actually.
So let's talk a little bit about risk assessments then. RSI is offering CyberCompass. How really does that differentiate itself from other types of risk assessments that have been available to companies and what they have to go through?
Yes. Okay. So, and I had touched a little bit on this before, and I didn't get to talk about it much, but traditionally, the way that firms have built their risk assessment services is they're very much based on professional service hours. And so when your revenue model is based on professional service hours, you're incentivized to assign a bunch of consulting hours so that you can make money. And so the problem with that is that then you are doing a lot of manual labor. It's a lot of consultants sitting there documenting in Excel spreadsheets and managing everything from their email inbox. And so what we have done is taken a lot of those pain points and automated or streamlined them. We got away from relying on revenue from hourly rates. And we just bundled, we have an algorithm that we've built that we can estimate how long it would take for us to conduct a risk assessment on your organization based on number of employees and number of locations. And so what that allows us to do is calculate out how long it would take us, and we can offer a flat rate at the beginning of the engagement, and there's no loopholes, no BS, any overages are absorbed by our firm. And so that's our way of differentiating ourselves in not only doing a much more efficient risk assessment, but offering a way for customers to know what they're getting up front.
Draw a few parallels and comparisons, if you will, between this type of a risk assessment versus, let's say, a penetration test or a vulnerability scan. Which is most important, and where do you try to use each?
Great question. This is probably one of our most common questions from partners, and understandably so. So a vulnerability assessment, essentially what that is you are identifying a system that you want to conduct a vulnerability scan on. And it comes back to that identify stage that I had talked about in my presentation, but you're looking for known vulnerabilities and you're scanning for those in your existing IT system. So you're trying to find vulnerabilities in a certain specific niche. It's like a lab experiment of looking for where to shine your flashlight and finding things that are already known as vulnerabilities. Now, pen testing is very similar in that you are also looking for known vulnerabilities, but it goes a step further. So again, you're looking at whether it's your network servers or it's a specific application system. You're first creating that lab environment of what you're going to look at, and you're going to find that vulnerability, and then you're going to find ways to exploit it. So it goes a step further in that regard. Now, a risk assessment, as we talk about it as what we offer, it is a macro, very strategic assessment of an organization's entire IT environment. So we are identifying these strategic risks that are impacting the entire organization and have the potential to dramatically affect their bottom line, affect their brand, affect their ability to conduct business. It's much more of a macro assessment of an organization as a whole. And pen testing and vulnerability scans are actually two of the things that we look for in our risk assessments. So we look to see if firms are conducting those, and they are great components of a good cybersecurity program, but they're very small components of the entire program.
We talk about the value of this type of service, and you had mentioned during your presentation that clients can realize up to 80% in savings just of the time that they would normally have to dedicate to this type of work, 65% potential realizations in cost savings. When you consider the price of what this costs in the professional services market, and that CyberCompass is offering package options beginning at about $500 a month, we're talking about an extremely affordable way to ensure compliance, to manage risk, and take care of all the necessary monitoring and reporting that has to be done.
Absolutely. Yes, well said. I think that that's one of the biggest things that we are trying to accomplish. That's our ultimate vision, is being able to show companies that they can be empowered to own their risk and understand their cybersecurity without having to rely on expensive professional service firms. We want to be that virtual CISO in their pocket, and CyberCompass is very much the first step in that regard.
Well, and it's easy, I suppose, to take a look at various needs within a business and say, okay, I know I should be doing some things with regard to firewall, I should be doing some things with regard to internal security, and we have a little flexibility there, I suppose, as business owners. But when it comes to compliance, again, that's a word that just frightens many people because there is no wiggle room there. There are things that we have to do depending on the industry that we're in and the type of business that we're running that are not optional. And there's always the fear that something is going to be missed or done improperly or incorrectly, and having to deal with the consequences that come along with that. Talk, if you would, about the peace of mind that can come from automating this and ensuring that, through CyberCompass, everything is being done that needs to be done to ensure that compliance is properly met.
Yes. So one of the biggest things that we strive to accomplish is being able to be that strategic, we take ownership of your cybersecurity needs by us being the expertise that gets the regulations and the new frameworks and things into our tool. We are constantly updating that information as new regulations come out, as frameworks are changed. We are always updating our policies and our procedures and our controls with best practices. And so we suddenly take away the need for a customer to stay on top of that. So you essentially just know that by using CyberCompass, whatever regulations you fall under or whatever risk assessment you're conducting in the tool, that it is industry leading, and that we have appropriately covered your risk as an organization. So we really do strive to maintain a great way of keeping our customers in compliance now and into the future.
Sorry, I had mute on. One of the questions that we had from our partners was asking whether or not we could provide cloud readiness assessments that are geared towards security and compliance. Are the surveys adjustable a little bit for particular types of products or product sets, such as cloud?
I'm so thankful that you asked that. I failed to mention this before, but the coolest thing that we have done with CyberCompass is that I've probably said the coolest thing 4 times now, but one of the cool things that we've done is that we've built it to be very modular. And so we actually have customers that we have completely created proprietary assessments for their specific organization. So you say cloud readiness assessment, we can get an assessment in our tool that aligns with the organization's need to appropriately conduct a cloud readiness assessment and build it on the platform that's already there. And so that makes it a lot easier for the customer to customize the tool to their needs.
You touched on this earlier, but Dan Muchnock is asking the question. I think it's worth touching on again. Can you address how the risk assessment that CyberCompass provides differs from the type of assessments that clients may be getting now from their managed solutions providers?
Absolutely. Yes, great question, Dan. So the biggest thing that we have have gone for is that we want to ensure that whatever risk assessment we are taking with whichever regulation or framework that we include, that it is all encompassing. So you have a lot of these tools out there that are offering risk assessments for $500 or sometimes free. And the problem is that that term gets used so loosely that it misleads your customers into thinking that they are taking care of all of the risks impacting their organization. And so let's take HIPAA, for example. HIPAA has multiple safeguards related to that regulation. And the problem is that these vendors will conduct quote unquote risk assessments that are only based on a couple of the safeguards. So then customers think that they're in compliance with HIPAA, they are misled, and then they're exposing themselves to fines and a variety of other risks. And so what we do is anything that goes into our tool, we ensure that it is all encompassing, and that when you take a risk assessment in our tool, that you are covering all of your bases.
There are a lot of good reasons to do business with RSI, and CyberCompass is one of those. But for my money, the people that we deal with there have a great deal to do with this. David Bergeson, of course, as you mentioned, is somebody that we've known for a very long time. He is just literally made of ideas and sales enthusiasm. Taylor, your knowledge of this business is tremendous. Trish Kapos, an old friend of Telarus and our former VP of Marketing, is now part of your organization as well. She is tremendous. Besides the products and the services that you offer, and obviously the great people that are there, what are some of the reasons that people would want to do business with RSI?
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you very much for the kind words. We couldn't be here without all of the people that you named, and we are incredibly thankful for the relationship we have with Telarus. But the things that we have done to differentiate ourselves, we've had this perspective from a channel veteran, from David, to be able to know what the pain points are on the supplier side, on the master agent side, on the partner side. And so we've been able to really sit down and strategically think about how to address a lot of those. So I talked a few minutes about this at the beginning of saying that we are exclusive to Telarus, that we don't have a direct sales team. That usually attracts a lot of partners simply for those two reasons. But some of the other things that we make sure that we do is that we are always available. You can always pick up the phone and get a hold of us, and we turn quotes around as quickly as possible. And I'm not talking about in a matter of days. We get quotes out same day. We have the ability to answer questions, jump on calls very quickly. We want to make sure that we're just always available, that the partner can pick up the phone. It doesn't matter if you're a cyber guru or you've never even heard of cybersecurity. We want to be there for you. And that's the way that we differentiate ourselves. And then finally, we talked a little bit about this. We built tools like Cyber Quick Check that are exclusively for the partner to be able to generate more sales. We actually are also launching our RSI pricing tool. So you will be able to get an account on our website and enter your email, enter number of employees, enter number of locations, and boom, you have a quote ready to go generated from our tool. It also has all of our resources available. So we really try to think about everything from a partner's perspective first. And that's how we feel like we've differentiated ourselves in the channel as a whole.
Telarus Partners, this is an exclusive offering, and you're going to be hard-pressed to show us any of your clients who don't have security and compliance and risk assessment on the brain. This is a big deal. Wanted to give you another mention on the webinar that's happening October 15th. Now, that's 1 week from today, and it directly follows our Telarus Tuesday call. Essentially, it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. In order to get the webinar invite for this, you want to send an email to Taylor. He's at Hersom, that's THERSOM, at RSITEX. You send an email there, he'll get you the webinar invite. You want to be sure and attend this webinar, 1 p.m. Eastern, next Tuesday, the 15th. There's so much more to know about this, but they make it so easy, so affordable, and so profitable for your clients to take advantage of this. Taylor, last word to you, and then we got to wrap it up for today.
All right. Well, I just want to reiterate how thankful I am for everyone taking the time. Please reach out to me anytime. Reach out to any of my team members. And we talked about the pricing tool and the Cyber Quick Check. If that's something that interests you, please contact us. We can get things white labeled for you and get you started. I'm thankful for Telarus. I'm thankful for the partners. And again, I appreciate the time you've given me.
Fantastic job. Our thanks to Taylor Hersom from RSI for today's tremendous CyberCompass presentation, and our thanks to each of you for your attendance and participation today. If you have suggestions for our weekly Telarus Tuesday call, please email them to marketing@telarus.com. We will return next week with more. Until then, I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus. Have a great selling week, everyone.